When we first had Brene Brown in 2011, and
Yeah.
nobody knew who Brene was, she talked about the power of vulnerability.
Hmm.
How the one thing that will actually make somebody trust you is showing some amount of vulnerability, right? A reasonable amount, like no, I don't know, or yes, or whatever. I mean, how to build trust and connectional intelligence.
Yeah.
Say that again.
There's different types of trust at work. Researchers have found that there's three things that can reduce trust. The first is geographical distance can reduce trust. The second type is something called operational distance, which is our difference in, say, communication styles, or someone uses Zoom versus someone else likes the phone, right? So different styles of operating. And the third type is what's called affinity distance, which is our level of shared values, interdependency, that connection and trust we feel. And what researchers found, it was actually affinity distance that would reduce trust the most. Many virtual connections could outperform co-located connections. Geographical distance could be resolved. Operational distance, different communication styles could be resolved. But it was the level of shared trust and the ability to talk about hard things, to have courageous conversations, to speak up about something that was different or difficult that really made the difference. I think that honestly goes back to what Brene Brown discussed, over a decade ago. But I think it has to manifest differently in today's environment where we're meeting someone for the first time online, right? And we're trying to build a new business relationship and we can't show our body language cues. I think there are three questions we always have to ask upfront when we're building a new business relationship to reduce that affinity distance and increase trust. The first question is, how often do you want to connect? Do you want to connect once a week, once a month? Those that are more of those virtual digital natives, they want to hear from you more rapidly than what I like to call the digital adapters. The second is, how do you prefer urgent information versus non-urgent, right? Do you want regular meetings once a month? Do you want me to text you? What is your style here? There are customers, clients, and partners who expect you to have a virtual social media presence. There's others who don't care. So understanding some of their style differences. And the third is, how do you prefer complex versus non-complex information? And understanding those differences. And if we ask that up front, we can start to decode the communication style and how we deepen that trust. I'll give you an example. I know one travel advisor, she was trying to build new clients and she called people up because she was more old school and left voicemails. Not a single person called her back. Most of them were digital natives who never listened to voicemail anymore. So she had to switch her approach. She had to send a really short, pithy email saying, I sent you a voicemail, but who listens to voicemail? Here's a quick link to sign up for a 15-minute chat. Here's why this can help you. Turns out just that least human interaction enabled the human interaction.
It wasn't that that person didn't want to talk at all.
Right.
It's kind of that hybrid, right? It's like, let me send you a link. Can you pick a time, 15 minutes of your time, and I'll get everything done?
Exactly. And so there's different styles and approaches. I grew up as an immigrant to the US. My family's from India. And for much of my life, I struggled to fit in because I had to learn body language cues, right? The popular girls with their heads high, the cool kids slouching during school assemblies. But it really taught me early on that it's not what we say, it's how we say it. And fast forward 40 years, it let me become an expert at communication. But what I found in today's world, especially as we think about this industry, is that, our cues and signals have changed. Just like it's no longer just the handshake and the head nod. To really create that connectional intelligence, we have to be able to understand our clients, our partners in a very different way and understand the new cues and signals, like the choice of communication medium, how quickly you respond, understanding accent differences, right? Even simple things like texting style can make or break whether you win over a client. Understanding how to win sales in that omni-channel environment is what connectional intelligence is all about.